Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about getting a job, the interview process, and just some things to help, because I've actually been asked this a lot by several of my friends, because I've been employed since I was 15. I've never had a problem getting a job. I'm not trying to be all gloaty on this one, it's just when I look at it, this is what I've come up with that seems to work, and it works really well. Part of it is in college, and I've done a lot of courses on appearance and how to get a job and what the job market and prospective employers look for. So I'm going to give you some statistics. Statistically speaking, every 60 resumes you send out, you'll get one phone call. Maybe. That's just statistics, so you gotta send them out. Like, sometimes it'll take less, sometimes it's going to take more, so you have to send them out. Even if you already have a job and you're completely comfortable with your job, still send them out. You never know. Prospective employers hold on to those resumes for up to 5 years. They hold on to them. I've gotten calls from people from resumes that I've dropped off a couple years ago. The resume they have is outdated at this point, but they still like what they saw, or they think that it'd be a good fit. Now, if you get that phone call, treat that phone call as if it's your interview. A lot of employers will treat that first phone call like as if they're interviewing you right then and there. They will make a decision on whether or not to offer you. They'll make their decision right then on whether or not they're even going to consider you for the first interview. So, practice talking on the phone. Practice being polite, courteous, using proper grammar, enunciate, all of that. If you have to call your parents several times a day to get comfortable with that, then you've got to call your parents several times a day to get comfortable with that. I know that talking on the phone can be very nerve-wracking for some people. I understand that. So that's one of those things. It's like when high school, when they would force you to stand up in front of your classmates to give a speech, even though you hated it. And some people would have massive panic attacks, throw up, leave the classroom, would never get it done. It's the same thing. It's super nerve-wracking. I understand that. If you can get past it, work past it. Work as hard as you can to get past it. Now, you've gotten past it. They've offered you an interview. They've set an interview date. Be on time. And on time means 15 minutes early if you can. Don't take public transportation. Do not let them see you get dropped off. If your mom has to drive you, have her drop you off a block away where they can't see that car and you walk in. If you can't drive, or if you don't have a reliable form of transportation, or even if you do, if it's your mom or your friend or the bus, prospective employers don't want to see that. They don't want to think that there's going to be any problem with you getting to work on time for your shift. So don't let them see that, and walk in on time. Dress for a position that's higher than what you're applying for. So for me right now, I'm dressed for a practical interview for massage. They told me to dress as if I already worked there, so they had introduced me to one of their massage therapists. I talked to her about how their daily dress. I've talked to the prospective employer about what their dress code entails. Their dress code entails black attire. And it's appropriate black attire. So I have a cami, so that I'm not showing too much cleavage. I've got a loose shirt that I can massage in. I've got slacks on. I've got stockings on. I'll have black slip-ons that are very comfortable. My hair is out of my face. My makeup is very neutral. The most elaborate is my eye makeup, which I really toned down. I kept it fairly neutral. I went with pinks and reds because I have hazel eyes, and pinks and reds make hazel eyes pop. Guys, clean shaven, not overpowering cologne, never. And same with girls, don't wear overpowering perfumes or colognes no matter where you're interviewing. That's a good way to set people off, because smell is very integrated into your brain. Clean nails, make sure your nails are trim and clean. If you have longer nails, either have them be squared off or rounded off. Make sure they're clean, there's nothing under them, no fancy colors, so keep it neutral tones. Same with your hair. Do not go to an interview with fancy hair colors. Don't go with purple, green, blue, silver, anything like that. unless you're old enough to naturally have silver hair. Like, if your hair's naturally already turning silver, that's how your hair's naturally turning. Make sure it's well groomed, it's washed, you've put effort into it. It doesn't need to be a lot of effort, it just needs to look like you care enough, because if it doesn't look like you care, that's it, they're not going to hire you. No hats. Guys, wear dress shirts, dress slacks, a tie, make sure you're fully buttoned and tucked in. Girls, don't be hanging out of your tops, things like that. Follow the 3 B's. No boobs, butts, or bellies. They don't want to see that. Don't show it. When you're hired, if it's okay in the dress code for you to have lots of cleavage, then that's fine. If it's okay in the dress code for you to have your top untucked, that's fine. If you've been there long enough, they might even let you color your hair funny, purple or red or bright, vibrant fire engine red or things like that. But until you get that job, you've got to keep everything neutral. They don't want somebody who's a big slob. They don't want somebody who's very extravagant out there. They want a good representation of who they're working for. Potatoes sneaking up behind you right now. Hey, big boy. So, a lot of places will do multiple interviews. So that gives you, if you pass the phone test, you pass that first interview, now they're coming in for a second interview, and a lot of the time that second interview is going to be with the head. They're going to be with the owner, it's going to be with somebody like that. That's really intimidating. Again, dress appropriately, be polite, courteous, enunciate, review. No matter what interview you're going, whether it's first, second, third, doesn't matter. Do your research on the company that you're applying for. Know your stuff. That way they'll think that you've already invested time and effort into this company, so you're going to be an asset to it. The key is to be an asset. Somebody's going to bring positive, good things to their company. Because positive, good things is going to make the company grow, it's going to make it prosper, it's going to guarantee your job. So that's what we're going for here. Now, I know the job market is hard. I know it's very hard to get that interview. And now I've given you some options to help you succeed in that interview, because I guarantee you, for every job out there, there's at least 5 to 10 people vying for that job. There are people who are not qualified at all who are applying for jobs on the off chance that the employer is going to make a heinous mistake and hire them anyways, and they're just going to fly by the seat of their pants. It happens. So don't write jobs off. Say you know nothing about auto parts. You can still apply at an auto parts shop. If they like you and they think that you're going to be a good asset, they'll invest the time to train you and teach you what you need to know. Unless that job requires you have special training, like CNA, LMP, PA, medical facilities, things like that who require extra training, you can still apply. You can apply to work at the hospital in the kitchen, and if they like you, you can move up from there. They'll send for training. A lot of places will have special training because you have to have certain credentials, and the nurses will need certain credentials, and their CNAs need certain credentials. And if you have the time, and the resources are available, they'll let you sit in on that class, and you can get that credentialing, so you have that opportunity to move up. Don't look at something to go, oh, I don't like that because I don't like that such and such person. I've done that. It's not good. You've just limited yourself on a possible job opportunity or a possible connection to get a different job. So don't close doors preemptively. Don't down talk your previous employer, even if you absolutely hated them. When they ask you why you left, it was time for a change. If it shows on it, oh, you were let go. I was seasonal. Or they had to make cutbacks, and I was lowest, and I was lower on the totem pole, so I got cut. Never say that you quit because you didn't like how they worked, there was a conflict of personality. You never say that because you don't want to put it in their head that there's going to be a chance that you're going to have a conflict with somebody that's already there, or that you're just going to leave. Don't ever give them that opportunity. Don't ever put those negative kernels in their head. You never talk down about your previous employers. Ever. You just don't. And let's see, what else is there? Those are the major points. Your appearance, cleanliness, articulate, enunciation, being confident. You're selling yourself. No one knows you better than you. When it comes to a job interview, you're selling yourself. You know you. You know how great you are. You know how good of a job you can do. Sell that. Make them believe it. And if you don't believe it, good luck convincing them that you do. Even if you don't, fake it till you make it. So I'm not even kidding. In massage, when I was first learning how to rub people, fake it till you make it. Just pretend like you know what you're doing, and eventually you will. You'll pick it up. So in these job interviews and these hard times, pretend like you know what you're doing if you don't. And if you do, sell it. Work it. Don't let them have any doubts about your credentials. Don't let them have any doubts about who you are, what you can do. Own that stuff. Own that shit. Own it. And I guarantee you will get that job. But you gotta own it, and you gotta understand that there's like a bunch of other people who are vying for this job. You just have to be more convincing than them. Sometimes employers will hire based on personality and credentials. Somebody can have better credentials than you, but if you got the personality to sell it better, they'll hire you. But if you don't own it, and that person has better credentials than you, they're gonna get it. I've lost jobs because of experience, and that's because my personality wasn't what they were looking for with my lack of credentials. It's things like that. So, good luck out there, and I hope those of you who are looking for jobs get jobs, and those of you who aren't, stick to it. It will get better. See you guys next week, and I will have another video out by Sunday, hopefully. Later.